Hey everyone, my name is Rooster and welcome back to Mechabellum. Today's video marks the very last one for Season 3. It is about to end and tomorrow, well actually today if you're watching the video, means that Season 4 has started. And well, to send it off, I thought let's go out with a bang. I've got a fun video for you guys today, a fun replay. It's going to be up against Egophobic. Now, I decided to go for Supply Specialist with the Fangs and the Sledgehammers, and for my opponent it looks to be a Fortified Specialist, yes it is, with Sledgehammers and Void Eyes. Now he should be slightly favored here. Void Eyes are actually really strong early on, but we probably will be able to stabilize, or at least that's what our goal is going to be. Now, I decided to defend in this scenario, decided to put the Fangs kind of safe behind the towers. Sledges are going to go in between. And looking at this board, I'd probably go for like Marksman. I do need some DPS here, and Arclight doesn't seem to be that necessary. He doesn't have a ton of chaff. It's mostly mid-sized units, so DPS makes more sense. And that's what I probably will be going for. I could also go for Void Eyes myself, but it doesn't really seem too appealing to go into a fortified spec in like a full kind of semi-tank mirror, so Marksman seems more logical. The other option would have been to maybe go for Crawlers here instead and just build our chaff first, but I don't mind having some Marksman on the board. It also kind of saves us against the potential round 2 Phoenix, which is still popular, so I'm happy with the setup here. He goes for double Crawler, completely reasonable thing to do, and well, I know this, but I think if the opponent is going to have 2 Crawlers, 2 Sledgehammers is fine. If they're going to have 3, you might want to start thinking about Arclights. But we've got these late Fangs, and while on their own they're not going to be enough against Crawlers, they do a perfectly fine job of helping out. And things are looking pretty good here. Opponent's somewhat stuck on our packs of Fangs. We have some Sledgehammers going off to Narnia to try and get a tower debuff. If we can get that in time, it's fantastic. If we lose our tower or lose our Marksman before then, not so great. And looks like we trade the towers, so debuffs at the same time, and now it's going to be up to our Marksman and remaining Sledgehammers and Fangs to clean stuff up. Will they be able to do it? Looks like it will go down. And he should win this. Very long first round here. Sledgehammers going on a bit of an adventure there on the enemy side of the board, but eventually it will end. And with the tower debuff going the way of my opponent, he is going to take the first round. Hopefully we can stabilize somewhat soon, because I didn't start with too many hit points. But the nice thing is we're supply specialists, so we do have those bonus resources to spend. Now, round number 2, some very interesting and pretty decent cards show up. Improved Phoenix being kind of the main one here that is solid and sees quite a bit of play. But there's an elite Fang in there as well. And because this was the last day that I was playing in Season 3, I thought, you know what? Let's maybe try and spice things up a little. CARRY FANG is a lot of fun to play. It's not the best, but with elite Fang, we might be able to kickstart it. And I probably won't be buying this immediately, because I want to get them and then immediately give them range. Because otherwise I'm just going to feed my opponent a bunch of experience. But at least we've got one of the building blocks for CARRY FANG already. So, level 3 Fangs here, able to be recruited. First, I probably want some chaff, and I probably want a little bit of chaff clear to try and deal with these Crawlers a tiny bit faster. So, what I'm thinking here is maybe Crawlers, and yeah, another Sledge here. I don't mind at all. I'm going to need something to tank for my Fangs, and Sledgehammers honestly seem like they would do pretty well. They're also quite good into these enemy Sledgehammers. They're just really good stall units and not the best chaff clear, but they're good enough. And when I pair them with high level Fangs, with range, with mech rage, I think we should be completely fine. You will see that I kind of offset this to the left because I didn't want to clump up my sledges too much. But I still wanted to protect kind of this diagonal and make sure that all the Crawlers get pulled straight forward instead of kind of going every which way. Opponent goes for Tarantulas here, and he picked up that improved Phoenix card I first mentioned. Not too unhappy about that. I think Fangs are really good into Phoenix, and especially CARRY FANG should do just fine. Tarantula, however, a little bit scarier. very tanky and has access to that range, that high explosive ammo, so down the line could be a bit of an issue. We'll need more frontline units. For now, though, sledgehammers don't seem like a bad idea whatsoever, and maybe Bearlike can help us out with some tanky boys to get in front of our fangs later on. Looks like we also end up losing round 2 here. We cleared up a decent amount of units. One fang left to his own devices. I doubt that he'll be able to take down the tower, and, well, don't look behind you, little man, because it doesn't look too rosy for you. We'll go down, we'll take a little bit more damage. And then round number 3, we have to deal with some unit reinforcements. Now, what do I want here? Arclight doesn't seem necessary. Typhoon, maybe a decent pickup, but honestly, the things that Typhoon kills well, fangs, especially Carry Fang, also kill well. So, not really what I'm looking for. I also don't think Typhoon is great on defense. Good on aggro, but not on defense. Phantom Ray, alright, but probably is just the Fire Badger here. And I'm looking for something that I wouldn't mind selling later on. The Fire Badger is worth the most alongside the Phantom Rays. And it's really good at chaff clearing. It kind of serves a similar role as the sledgehammers here. We get 3 tanky bodies to stall. And then we also get a little bit of extra chaff clear while I'm trying to work on the fangs, right? Trying to get more of them down, trying to level them, give them range. And I think that Fire Badger should do a good job at that. Also allows us to kind of go symmetrical here. Opponent does the same thing and decides to flank us in this scenario. I decided to pick up some Stormcallers because, well, at the end of Season 3, Stormcallers are really powerful. Of course, AP only costs 100. That'll be changed tomorrow or today with 150, I believe. So there is a slight nerf coming. Still think that we'll try and pick it, especially early on, and see how well it does. But yeah, you can see here AP being clicked. It's insanely strong against things like Tarantulas. And with the positioning in front of the tower, it looks like we also managed to hit some of those Fire Badgers. Even kill one of them. Turret goes flying on the flank as it spawns in. And with one of the Badgers turning and 2 going forward, I think that's like kind of the best split we could have gotten. Opponents also picked up Absorption on the Void Eyes, just trying to make them a bit tankier. It's a pretty common thing to do if you don't want to invest into them more, which most people don't want to. Marksman here going to do a fine job against the Phoenixes. They are improved, so they take a couple more shots than a regular Phoenix would. But it looks like finally we've managed to stabilize somewhat. AP Storms to the rescue, and that flank not really amounting to all that much. It's a minor victory, but I'm happy that we don't lose too much more hit points. And then, of course, we start getting to the mid-rounds, get a bit more money, and maybe finally I can start building my fangs and giving them a tech, right? Round number 4, Efficient Light Manufacturing shows up, and I don't think I can resist. Round 4, this card is really good to pick up. It's kind of like a super supply, if you will. It gets even better if you manage to hit that additional deployment slot. And when we're planning to play small units and a bunch of fangs, I think we just have to pick it. I don't even know why it took me so long to think about this. Maybe I was pondering the advanced targeting system. I mean, I guess that could be useful on fangs, but that card I think is not quite as powerful as the one that we do pick up, which is the Efficient Light. And so now we have 700 left, and with 150 cost fangs, I think we definitely have enough to be able to buy some and then give them range. And I think fangs here should do pretty well. High-level fangs are completely fine against low-level crawlers for the most part. They're not the fastest at clearing them, but they will clear them. And then they should be pretty good against most of the other units, apart from maybe the Tarantula here. Opponent sells out of the Badger. I was expecting it because it was on the line. So I believe I don't fully respect this. We do take our sweet time at the end of the round though. Only 9 seconds left. And yeah, here we go. Some fangs picked up. We go for range as well as the first tower enhancement. And yeah, I don't do too much about that flank. It's very common for the opponent to sell out there. Didn't want to overcommit. Put a Rhino down and Honestly, the Rhino wouldn't have done great. Man, look at the AP storms there. Instantly deleting one of the Tarantulas. The other one's already been locked on too, so that should die pretty quick. And really, at this point, it's mostly the opponent's sledgehammers that are doing the chaff clearing. High-level fangs. Gonna take down those improved phoenixes. Also, defending the tower very nicely. And as the opponent's units clump up, it's an easy target for our Stormcallers. So that should be another round, as we're starting to stack up an okay amount of damage. Of course, we're playing small units, so it's nothing special, but should get our opponent to below 4k here. Yeah, more than. Almost down to 3.5. Round number 5, improved firepower control system shows up. I do decide to pick that. Could have gone for a super heavy too and just throw that onto the fire badger if I wanted, but hey, we're playing Carry Fang, so we kind of need to just grab the damage item, right? Also, it's been 36 degrees Celsius today, so hence the tank top is still there. Tomorrow, I think it cools off, so I'll probably go back to just wearing some nice summer shirts. We've got some levels available here, and I'm probably looking at which of my fangs did the most, which looks like it is this one in the middle. Probably where that improved firepower control system will go. Now opponent's starting to buy some scorpions. He did also pick up the efficient light manufacturing, and I think he's not too happy about the sledgehammers, so scorpions it is. Scorpion though, not that good into AP storms, so that does give us another valuable target to hit. And we buy 2 more sets of fangs. Buy the mech rage, which is kind of the second mandatory tech for Carry Fang, and we even have enough money left to mass recruit a 3rd Fang in the middle here. So we're starting to get places. Fangs, sadly here, not able to grab a level. I think I was contemplating the loan to grab some levels, maybe even on the Storm, but round 5, that's maybe a little bit too spicy. An opponent takes range immediately on his Scorpions. The thing is, yeah, my Fire Badger is tanky enough that it can face tank a few shots here from the Scorpions. Probably still do want to sell it because it's worth a lot of experience, and we don't want to like over level that Scorpion to the point where we can't kill it. But yeah, the other sledgehammers are honestly doing quite fine, and that's the thing about vertical sledges especially, is they take a few shots from a Scorpion to take out, and if you haven't teched them, then they're not that important. And 4.5 seconds of reload on that guy, or that unit, is quite a bit. Lots of damage coming in. 2.4k is what Egophobic is now sitting at, and there we go. Hitting the jackpot. Additional deployment slot shows up, and that's going to make it even easier for us to make profit off of that efficient light manufacturing, and crucially, going to allow us to buy even more fangs. The port shield was maybe worth a consideration too, and just throw it onto the Fire Badger if you really want to keep it, but let's be honest here, that additional deployment slot is amazing. And now I'm thinking, well, with that many deployments, maybe we start giving the flanks here a go. There's some crawlers back there, but the high-level fangs should be able to deal with them. And I wouldn't mind kind of pulling apart the opponent's army a little bit and make it so that my main army has an easier time dealing with the front line. Levels available, of course. I hope that I do pick those up, especially on the itemized fang. That one needs a level. No question about it. And here we go. I decide to even elite recruit the fangs, which means that they're going to be level 4 instead of level 3. And yeah, we're going to throw some of those big boys all the way up on the deep flank. And then we're going to add 2 of them further back, kind of near our flanks as coverage, and also to deal with whatever units my opponent has, like all the way on the edges. Levels everywhere for the fangs. And that's going to be all of our money spent. Temp range here probably would have started being worth it. Like round 6 is around when you should start clicking that, probably. But sometimes you can wait and buy it on round 7 instead. Something like the attack enhancement 2 here could be quite valuable as well. And Well, as my opponent has clicked range on his tarantulas, you might start thinking about defense enhancement and more frontline, because left side you can see the fangs are starting to dwindle, with plenty of enemy units still alive. Right side though, we're still winning, and the flanks also are managing to take out the crawlers and even a level 2 improved phoenix. And with that, we should still come out ahead, as the tarantula gets flanked and the stormcallers are doing a fantastic job. Top on damage so far, even though they're only level 1. Look at that, 130,000 damage at level 1. Round number 7, more unit reinforcements. And here I'm thinking, okay, I'll probably just want some frontline. Don't want to place steel balls into the existing scorpion, so it should be sandworm for me. I'm not too worried about the rest. Raiden doesn't seem that good. Opponent goes for steel balls and throws them all the way as a flank defense. Slightly annoying here because, well, we want to go sandworm, and steel balls are decent into the sandworm. And here again, you're going to see me click mechanical division. Add more larvas to the board, more just, yeah, annoying stuff for my opponent to deal with. Opponent clicks high explosive now on the tarantula, which is a little concerning because that's going to make it a lot easier for him to clear my fangs if he manages to hit them. And that makes it all the more important for us to get some frontline, right? Mech div, there we go. 2 sandworms picked up. And then maybe we can even throw them onto the flanks, because I wanted to try and make these flanks somewhat useful. Right now they can just get missiled out. If I put a sandworm in front, then at least they should do alright. Now, of course, there is some steel balls there, but at the same time we're going to lock up this tarantula. And when it dies, it's going to create some of those larvas, which are going to annoy the opponent's units even more. Maybe the high-level fangs here will be able to help out. Looks like we sell a badger too, and that allows us to put down another sandworm, as well as a crawler pack. And so the main board is starting to look decent on the left side as well. Right side, little understaffed. Well, we've got enough fangs, but we just don't have any tanks to go in front. So you can see we're struggling a bit more over there than on the left side. But that's completely fine. Looks like the flanks didn't really work out that well, but at the very least we managed to stall them. And that means the Stormcallers are still doing a great job locking onto the bigger targets, taking them out. Now turning their attention to the steel balls. Will we be able to take them down though? They lock onto our tower. We do get a debuff, but he returns the favor. And looks like we probably lose this round. If only to the phoenixes. We do have a sandworm left alive, but yeah, as it takes down the remaining units and tries chomping the steel balls too. Phoenixes are going to be slightly too much. The larva's there, level 2, even capable of taking down the enemy sandworms. The enemy steel balls, excuse me. And heading over to the tower as well. But eventually they'll die to the leftover phoenixes. Right before the turn ends. Round number 8, another efficient light manufacturing shows up, and I mean now I'm just taking it for the memes. It's round 8, probably I shouldn't be picking it, but I mean this is great. No, level 3 fangs for 100, my chaff is free, and I have an additional deployment slot. I'll take that, you know. And we can make 200 around here, so that card pays back in basically 2 turns. So if we don't manage to win here, then we managed to get more value out of it. I will say, though, I wanted to buy more sandworms. So, I mean, again, it's a bit memey what I do here, because obviously the sandworms are not benefiting from the light manufacturing buff. And, well, the 2 fangs I purchased are. So we've made back 100, but I believe the card costs like 350. So we'll have to see. Maybe the game here goes on for a while and we can justify that purchase. Crawlers on the flanks is what the opponent goes for. I decided to go for a missile, which was meant to hit this tarantula, the crawler, and the sledge. It looks like it'll go onto the crawlers that he's added onto my shallow flank, but I'm okay with that. We also grab the second attack enhancement. Temp range has now been clicked. Second attack enhancement, really good against these like fast firing units like Mustang, Typhoon, Fang. They really do like that. Wraith as well. And let's see. Crawlers are killed swiftly. Fangs doing a good job on the flank. But this Tarantula in the middle is very scary. Level 3, that is an absolute chonker. We still have some sandworms left alive. And the Stormcallers are doing their very best. I probably should have leveled them, but it does completely fine. Now the rest of the units are moving in. Looks like we did lose all of our sandworms, so they should go at least another round if we manage to keep winning. And yeah, there we go. Not quite enough. No big units left alive. Round number 9. Rhino, Arclight Typhoon, and Vulcan offered. My opponent doesn't have that much chaff, so I think a Vulcan play with oil isn't that useful. Probably should be a little bit careful about that myself, though. We pick up the Rhinos. And here I'm thinking, okay, well, what can I do with the Rhinos? Gonna like add them to the flank. Yeah, not really. Maybe I can go for armor here and just make them tank. But what I could also do is give them final blitz, because my opponent is quite close to the line, and there's a few units here clumped up that we might be able to catch in the blast. And so this is where the undo button is really nice, because we managed to undo the armor click that we went for first, and then go for final blitz instead. And that allows us to split up our resources. Now what I didn't know is my opponent went for a Rhino play himself, trying to get into my tower, but yeah, I was aiming for the spider here and the sledge and the scorpion, but instead it looks like we'll just blow up his rhinos. And that is some great value right there. I also go for some missiles, just to try and kind of clear any chaff that he might add in front, so that the rhinos get in. And yeah, I mean, look at our board here. Isn't this an absolute masterpiece? Very nice and somewhat symmetrical board of fangs. We buy even more. 3 fangs added all the way in the back. And yeah, I mean, what a board. Rhinos going to fight each other here. Boom, there we go. I mean, you almost wouldn't notice that they were there to begin with. Spider almost dies, but it lives with a sliver of hit points. And now, oh no. With the high explosive, it's not going down without a fight. Taking out quite a few fangs there. Eventually, we do manage to find the lock-on, though. Tons and tons of phoenixes left alive, and they are quite tanky, I'll give him that. But they're not exactly made to kill all of these fangs. And as we grab the tower debuff, I believe we should be able to come out ahead and grab the victory for our final, at least YouTube game, from Season 3. This was quite a fun one. Happy I ended up going for the Elite Fang very early. I think it was a good thing that we were patient, because I didn't want to feed any experience preemptively to my opponent. I really wanted to make sure that I could buy a few fangs and give them range. And, well, I mean, look at the results. We were blessed as well with a bunch of really good cards. Efficient Light Manufacturings, additional deployment slots. The worms came in clutch. And then, yeah, the Rhino play here at the end kind of sealed the deal. But, yeah, that was a fun one. If you like this video, please leave a thumbs up. Let me know down below what you think of CARRY FANG. And are you excited about Season 4? If you want to stay up to date on latest content, please consider subscribing. And if you want to see me play live, check me out on Twitch. With that being said, take care, guys, and see you in the next video. Bye-bye.